Right, hi guys. Okay, totally different today. Somebody had to say hi, so Chico gives his love to everybody, as usual. Okay. Astral projection. Can't teach you how to do it for the life of me, or to save my life. And he is still talking. He's got a lot to say today. He has quite a bit to say today. He's not happy because his daddy isn't happy. Okay. Okay, now, in traditional witchcraft, this is actually in the Call of the Hornpiper. So this is taken from the Call of the Hornpiper, which is an amazing book. And traditional witchcraft, my form that I practice, it is not the true form or whatever. I don't claim to have any true form of anything that I practice. So there is room in traditional witchcraft to be creative. They give you just an outline and then you can be creative and have fun with your stuff. You don't have a set guideline or rule book or creed to follow or anything like that. So the world of Elfhame, this is where the pale people are. Ghost roads lead to it. It is the underworld, but it is also where our ancestors are, the Fae folk, the wee ones, and it's really, it's a fairy art, the Fae folk, the fairy art. So I'm very in touch with the Fae folk. I know they don't like to be called fairies. I know they like to be called Fae people, or the wee ones. I don't know about the wee ones, but the Fae folk are a lot better than fairy. And I have a small section sectioned off on my altar for all of my my house spirit, my hearth spirit, which would be a house spirit. And yeah, they're just, I love them. Some of them are insanely mean and cruel and tricksters. Some of them are just completely sweet, the sweetest things ever. And they don't like smoke, so don't smoke around them. Okay, so to enter the world of the Elfhame, this is more of an astral world. Okay, so I'm going to read from my book for you, my grimoire. And I actually did this back in 7/8/2011, so it's been a while. Okay, so there are really various fairy arts taught within traditional witchcraft, just like I told you guys earlier, to enter the world of Elfhame. At the most basic level, these consist of simple, I can't read my own writing again, imaginal techniques, which induce the subtle fairy trance in which passage between the worlds becomes possible. So it just takes a subtle trance and very good visualization techniques to get into the astral realm or enter Elfhame or the underworld or another dimension that you're wanting to visit. Use your imagination. Don't self-doubt yourself. That is the biggest leading cause of failure, self-doubt. So don't self-doubt. So yeah, you just want to become relaxed. Just relax and take deep breaths. You can do the severing of the etheric cords before this, just to kind of put you in that trance. If you have Karen A. Dahlman's book, The Spirit of Alchemy, or The Spirits of Ouija, 4 Decades of Communication, then you already know how to do the heart to hips meditation, which brings you into your center. And it's amazing. It's seriously amazing. So if you don't have that, get the book. Get her book. But okay, here's technique 1 to enter into the realm of Elfhame. So this first technique is to meditate upon the image of a deep stone-lined well in a shadowy grave of hazels, hawthorns, and yews. Contemplate the dark well from whose depths a gentle greenish glow emanates, I can't talk, and then descend into it in your vision until you sink beneath its waters, deep down into the great below. After a time and with regular work, this will be a catalyst altered mind state and visions as the psyche attunes to fairyland. So, you want to concentrate, meditate upon the images of the deep stone-lined well. So, you can very easily find these images. Google them. They're very easy to find. If you guys know the buka in Cornish witchcraft and the Tupa clan, the buka, I'm pretty sure it's the Tupa clan. Sorry if I'm Shanti Oates. So I'm sorry if I'm butchering your wording. I adore your books, by the way. Amazing. But yeah, if you guys know the maze of the buka or the horned god, it's that you draw it on a stone, and it's for like trance work. I meditate with that stone. That thing was hard to draw. Hard to draw on a stone. So it took me a good week to get the right one down. So I use that personally to meditate on, and then I start to enter into Elfhame. So again, for the first technique number 1, so you're going to meditate upon the image of a deep stone-lined well in a shadowy grave of hazels, hawthorns, and yews. Contemplate the dark well from whose depths a gentle greenish glow emanates, and then descend into it in your vision until you sink beneath its waters, deep down into the great below. So that is your meditation that you're going to do. And then after a time with regular work, it will be a catalyst for you to alter your mind, altered states of consciousness, and your psyche is going to attune to the world of Elfhame. So it'll be easier to access different realms. So it's very fun. It's very fun. I've seen a lot of stuff in Fairyland, or the Fey Folkland, or the Pale People Below, and Elfhame. And it's kind of scary at times, guys. Because there has to be good, and there has to be positive, negative, good, evil. There has to be a balance before anything can... My lights are doing some funny stuff. That's strange. Okay. But okay, there's another technique. There's 2 techniques, so this is your second technique. And this is the other method of entering Elfhame. So... okay, the other second technique is to visualize a great barrow mound, or a fairy hill, whose turf slope looms before you in the midst and twilight. There is a stone gateway, and a great wooden door in the inside, and you approach the door. Knocking thrice upon it, you open the green door and enter into the stone passageway, into the heart of the hill. The passageway turns to the right and descends spirally in worn, shallow steps. Following those stone steps, you descend even more deeply into the great below until you begin to enter the perpetual mind state of the fairy world. So that is your second technique. That's another very good technique that I love. I love to do that technique. It's easier than the first technique, so I would say go ahead and do the first one, or the second one. It's so simple. Okay, so your first technique, I'm going to go over it one more time with you guys. Your first technique is to meditate upon the image of a stone-lined well in a shadowy grove of hazels, hawthorns, and yews. Contemplate the dark well from whose depths a gentle greenish glow emanates, and then descend into it, your vision, until you sink beneath its waters, deep down into the grate below. After a time, and with regular work, this will catalyze altered mind states and visions as the psyche attunes to fairyland. So that is your first technique to try. Try it out. See how that one works for you. If it doesn't work for you, try technique number 2. So this is the other method of entering Elfhame. So you want to visualize a great barrow, mound, or a fairy hill, whose turf slopes loom before you in the mist and twilight. There is a stone gateway and a great wooden door in the hillside, and you approach the door, knocking thrice. Upon it, you open the green door and enter into the stone passageway, into the heart of the hill. The passageway turns to the right and descends spirally in worn, shallow steps. Following the stone steps, you descend even more deeply into the grate below, until you begin to enter the perpetual mind state of the fairy world. And that is how you enter Elfhame. And yes, I am moving my little sliding thing out from underneath my computer desk, so the computer camera is going to flip and flop because it is crazy heavy and it looks like it's actually gold. So, what do you guys think? Tell me what you guys think. Another good exercise for me for astral projection when I first started, let's see, I was 13 and this was before the internet. God, I feel old, that dates me. Okay, this was before the internet. There was a book, or there was a big Llewellyn, or not Llewellyn, there was a different occult company that you could order from. You had to catalog order everything, it was fun. That was the best. Those were the good days. Now everything's right here. Pros and cons. But anyway, I got a tape, astral projection, and it was hideous. But it taught me some really good techniques. And it helped me a lot. That's what I do. Okay, so we're gonna lay down. We're gonna lay down on the bed. Don't fall asleep. Prop your head up just a little bit on a nice comfortable pillow. Let your hands and your arms just sink. Just feel yourself sink into the bed and just relax and do your deep breathing techniques. You can do the severing of etheric cords technique, the breathing technique too, or you can find your own technique. You'll notice your breath that it will start to slow down. That is when when you close your eyes, I think your brain goes into alpha. I think it's alpha. And then visualize a rope from your belly button, like an actual rope. You have to feel the rope and see knots in it going all the way up, but you don't know where it goes. So actually feel yourself climbing that rope and climbing it and climbing it and keep going up, and you'll eventually feel your body start to pull. And that is how I astral project. That's how I can go look around. I can see myself. If I look at my feet, I am drawn directly back into my body. If I look at myself and I see something on myself, or I accidentally look at myself and I get startled, I'm directly back in my body. I usually do this at nighttime, and it really helps to hold Pneumite, because that is like the Xanax of stones, and it's just crazy. It is to help you transcend into different dimensions and just all these altered states of consciousness and astral realms. So keep going, keep feeling that rope and climb that rope. Eventually you're going to be out of your body. Don't freak out when you see yourself laying down and you're looking at yourself from the ceiling. It's really cool, but it will freak you out the first time. And then where you go is up to you. Start small. Start very small. Explore your bedroom. Explore your apartment. Explore small things. Usually, my techniques are, well, when I astral project or when I'm talking with my grandma or any other spiritual entities, telepathically. It's like bursts of information that comes so quickly. So you have to just, if you can, have a recorder going so you can speak it, or if you can remember it when you come back from your journey, write it down. And write it down quick, because it takes, I don't know how much practice it took me to remember where I was going and what I was doing when I was astral projecting. But it takes quite a while. It takes quite a while to remember. I still to this day can't remember every single detail. But I mean, it's amazing. Let's see. Okay, so for example, okay, you've climbed the rope. You're out of your body. Build your own astral temple. Make it your own. I have so many. I have one, and it's a very nice little cottage. It's in a tree. It's a very hollow tree that sits on top of a mound, a fairy hill. And I enter it, and I spiral down, just like in the second technique of entering Elfhame. And I spiral down into it, and if anybody has ever watched Leprechaun, the second one, that is exactly how it looks to me. There's different paths leading, or different trails. My temple there has my ancestors, pictures of all my ancestors, candles, just everything, just all kinds of stuff. And I can always remember it because the sand feels so warm. And it's so amazing. You can also drink mugwort tea in a small dose, because I know mugwort can, I don't know. I don't suggest trying to smoke it. A lot of people do. A lot of European witches will smoke mugwort, or you can just burn the mugwort and breathe it in, and it's supposed to induce visions and astral projection and aid in that type of work. So it's fun. My other astral temple, I have too many. I have so many. I think it's a very, like a cottage, a very small tiny cottage with like moss growing over the top of it, and there's a small door, and I have to make myself very tiny so I can get in there. And then in there I have a table in the very center, and I have my Ouija in there, and I have all my things start to appear. They'll be there one time. The next time I go, they won't be there. So I don't know how that works. I don't know why that happens, but it's very, very neat. You can also use that technique to explore your shadow self. So make it your intent before you go into astral projection on what you want to learn, where you want to go. Do you want to explore your shadow self? Find the root cause of any kind of bad habits, anything like that, spiritual enlightenment. And you can spend a good, quite a few hours and it feels like 5 seconds with the astral projection, but it's very intense, and it's very crazy. I remember my first time ever astral projecting. I think it was, oh god, I was pretty young, so I was able to stay up until like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I left my body. And I turned around and I saw myself, and I was sucked right back into my body, and I was freaked out. But I knew I had astral projected, and I was so proud of myself. So I ran to my mom. I woke her up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I told her, I was like, I left my body. Yeah, but that was another story. So it's a very good technique to learn. If you can visualize, then you can go there, and it's fun. So you can visit Stonehenge, you can visit Florida, you can visit anywhere you want to. But yeah, astrally, when I do my nightly OCD ritual, I have times where my grandma takes me places. And then there's times I get sucked back into my body, and then she pulls me back out, and then I get sucked back in, and it's kind of like, you feel like a rubber band. It's crazy. But yeah, those are some of my experiences. Two of my astral temples. And yeah, I actually can astral project just by closing my eyes. And I don't know how to teach you guys to do that, but I hope this helps. It can't hurt. Also remember, hold on. Okay, also remember, when you're astral projecting, your fears have a big place, a big role. So you are going to face your fears. That's a good way to face your fears. It will bring out your fears too. So if you have any preconceived notions or fears about astral projection, same with Ouija, make your intentions pure. Make sure you know where you want to go, what you want to learn, all of that. Because you will see all kinds of stuff. Lower astral level beings, which are, I would say, Mr. Z. You could possibly see him. And just a lot of earthbound spirits, and like the Fae folk and all of the nature spirits, and it's really fun. So I hope that helps, just a little bit at least. And yeah, if I can think of any more tips and tricks, and I will definitely make another video for you guys. So I hope you liked it. And the Thorn Rose Witch, we have to plan another coffee date, because I know we had a coffee date, and it wasn't intentional or anything. But it happened, so it's very cool. But alright guys, I love you all very much. Thank you for watching, and I really hope this helps. So let me know below. And yeah, everybody have a great day, and happy travels.